And welcome back. My name is James Henderson. I am the host of TexasIntegratedServices.com, and I will be here today talking to you about 4 different things. Hosting companies, debunk the top 10 hosting companies, company, domain name, and the hosting company, and then the company name. So here's the deal: hosting companies. What do they all have? And who do you know that's the best? That's a good question, because I'll tell you what, 9 out of 10 out of all hosting companies, they all have an open source operating system, which is free. They all have a firewall, Cisco or firewall. Of course, they don't be hacked, because that's their reputation, that's their liability. And they all have databases. And then they have some sort of GUI interface to make it a lot easier for small guys to get on the internet to do what they need to do, and without them being hassled all the time. So whatever they can do, that's basically it. What I mean by that? Well, let's go from the top down. Most of y'all know how a internet gets to a server, or how the client's computer gets to the server, and then the server returns the information back to the client. The client types in a domain name that they wanna hit, so it'll send off to a DNS server, domain naming service. That domain naming service is just like the postal mail. The postal mail will then return that package to the to where it's going. So it'll switch that name to an IP address. That IP address is a unique mailing address, just like your home. Okay, and so then all of a sudden the company receives the mail with basic information in it. Says, all right, I'm gonna send them back to the home page. So it sends the server back to the client with the basic information, which is home page. Client logs in, sends the server new information. New information either accepts it or denies it, and then sends it back to the client. That's how all that gets started. Okay, and now all that information in between there has a firewall. A firewall is just basically, are you authorized to see this information? If not, if you're a hacker, get that out of here. That's okay. After all that is said, then of course that host has an operating system. When you view a website, just like you're viewing YouTube or my server, it has an operating system to run the program that you're viewing on it. Like I said, 9 out of 10 hosting companies run a PHP, Ruby on Rails, MySQL with the Linux operating system, or PostgreSQL. The reason why they're so popular is because they're free to the hosting company. Hey, ain't a bad deal then, huh? So if it's all free, then why do some hosting companies charge a lot more money than other hosting companies? And it's choosing a company that I pay a lot more money to a better thing. Yes or no? Either are you paying for the service? Are you paying for the time? Are you paying for the development and help that you want, or not? Some companies I know charge $100 a month, and they provide services that's crap. Yeah. Then you got some companies like mine that when you ask for a question, well, I'm gonna return it back to you in a video. Like, how do you set up an email account? Well, instead of me telling you, I think it's a lot easier for me to show you, and in return also help other people who have the same question. What about these top 10 hosting company names? Well, a lot of them pay to get on the top. So that's So for companies that you've never heard of before, and so you look at these top 10 hosting companies, well, they're not there. Well, yeah, because they haven't paid for the service. Click around on some of them. You'll immediately find out where they're coming from. In fact, once you sign up as one and see how much it's going to cost you to get on their list, or you right click on a company, website, and then look at the source code underneath. There's other great examples here on YouTube and some other video sites that are out there. So you want to be careful about the top 10 list. If the domain name company has a lot of money to push their way to the top, great, more power to them, and and they better provide the service that they've promised. Domain companies, like I said, they all have the same operating system. They all have, or most of them have the same operating system, database, and programming language for you to program on them. It's just what are the type of services that they feature to really get you inside the door, and how are they going to work with the new business. 9 times out of 10, that's the issue. That there's that most my customers, they are new businesses, they are struggling, and even though they don't have a lot of money, they still want to be provided with a great amount of service. So yeah, that's one thing you gotta be wary about. And what about a domain name? Does my domain name have to be the same as my company name? Answer is no. Your domain name must be a reflection of what you do, and it's also will be a great retrieval system for when you start when the search engine optimization starts taking place for your website. So since you are a new company, definitely start pushing towards the service operating system, but don't really limit yourself because you can't find. Always make it unique. You don't want to copy and paste what someone else has and put on your site, because Google will penalize you for doing that. So you really want to be authentic. And even if you're Gazooks, I think it was a shoe company that just reached $1 billion. So you want to be definitely be careful about what the name you pick, because it was such a unique name. When somebody asked them the question of how did they find their name, they said they went through 40 or 50 different domain names, and they were all taken up by these domain name companies to for someone to purchase it for 3,000 or 4,000% of what it cost them. You really don't need to buy those. Go with the domain name that you find that's authentic, and in return, wait until that guy who purchased 700 or 800 different domain names falls into the ocean. And then so when he doesn't have the money because no one actually fell for the scam, then what you do is you come in and you buy it. So so definitely have fun there. So don't fall for the scam. That should I purchase of what someone else has already bought? The answer is not really. If you tie your SEO information right, especially with like Ping FM, the information and the word will get out there. And on top of that, I think for a new company getting out there, Facebook has the cheapest way of advertising. So wish everyone a happy new year, and hope you enjoyed this 10-minute presentation of domain information.